Howdy folk, it's your mom, High Priest. I'm up here on the weekend of the new moon in Aquarius, so happy Lunar New Year to all. This is a message for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising Collective. I'm very grateful to have you all here, so happy for you to join us. Please feel free to check out any of the other sign readings and the recent collective reading for the new moon in Aquarius. Hopefully this message will resonate with you, regardless of whether you have a distinguished Sagittarius placement in your natal chart. We should just kick into it, right? I ought to warn you that it's a very snowy day, so the neighbors are like having a heated conversation, per se. It's a little bit of that cabin fever, but like the opposite, right? Or yeah, during the winter, cabin fever in the winter. It's snowy. I am meditating on the Venus card for you all. So we'll get into it. Card number 4 from the Wild Unknown Alchemy. Venus. Very aligned with the Empress card. So with that, Sagittarius Magician, Sagittarius High Priest, High Priestesses, Sagittarian Kings and Queens, this is your highest royal court. I'm your effervescent weekend warrior, effervescent, bubbly jester with your mercurial messages for your divinity, your spiritual exaltation, your human evolution. What's good, Sagittarius? I have the Wild Mystic Oracle and my personal values oracle here. We'll pull one card from the Wild Mystic and then just a few flyouts from the oracle, from the values oracle. Must be one of those days. I don't know. I woke up well. Thank you so much, Goddess Isis, Sun God Ra, Mercury, Archangels, Angels, and Spirit Guides of the highest light. Cool. Wow, death, transformation, right? And kindness. This card does keep coming up here and there. Kindness is a Virgo card. Death is a Scorpion card, okay? Scorpio. Oh, let's see. Okay. So what I'm picking up for you all, Sagittarius, you are in a, let's see, what do we call it? What am I calling it? You're taking a step back, but it is more a regenerative step back. Like you have come to a stopping point where you are now looking at, it is giving me that death card with the Venus, where you're kaleidoscoping through all your accomplishments over the last 2.5 years. So this reading is based on this next 28-day cycle for the new moon. And because I draw the longer lunation cycles, the next moon in Aquarius, not the next, but the first quarter moon in Aquarius in November, early November, when the sun is in Scorpio, that this reading follows that timeline. There will be a pinnacle or culmination, a desire for adjustment at the end of the year in early November. but what you're working on now could be expanded on in the next 28 days so that you actually get, let's say, the ball rolling. With the Empress card here, it is giving me that you are in that maybe not the most restful state, but it is a regenerative state, which is a highly like spiritualized moment for you, in that you are not only tending to the ego, but you're having, what I mean by tend to the ego is you're having to like soften it so that you can look at what has happened in the last 2.5 to 3 years, where you are at now, as being affected, or the effect of your manifestations, where they have brought you to now, where you are at now. So it's like you're rising to the occasion, not physically, but spiritually, emotionally. You are looking at everything that is currently working for you, which is beautiful. This is more like, how can you give back in a way, maybe more to you. Maybe you feel that you've been giving too much to others. And so now it's about taking a little bit of a time to honor where you have actually given yourself all that care, all that attention, right? And it really boils down to like money, what you've been like paying for and how you've been earning through work, what your work means to you, the value in it, right? Or finding the more valuable aspects of your processes, of your work, of your methods. It could be a very illuminating time for you, right? You are also, it's like, even if you are fully grown adult, thank you so much, Mercury, Goddess Isis, Sun God Ra. You are in that tendency to feel like in a youthful, younger state. Maybe you're being watched over, taken care of, like somebody's taking care of you. And that's good. Like, that is also part of this process in which you are meant to sit back a little bit. It's more like a lot is going on in your mind. A lot is you could feel very close to home. You could feel very close to like siblings. You could be regrouping and like noticing the aging process, honoring how, that all of that alludes to how far you've come in the last 3 years and where you are at now and where you want to go and where you want to be by the end of the year. Thank you so much, Goddess Isis, Sun God Ra. All right, and then we can check out what values you've been kind of honing in on, right? Oh wow, solitude, yes. You could be alone, but you're not alone. I was getting that earlier, like you shouldn't feel alone, because what I'm sensing is that there are people around you that are caring for you, and you are a very spiritually aligned person, so you could be providing that, like you sort of bring the light to the stage. You are like, there's like the center stage. It is meant to bring you more into like this grounded earthly order, which is again alluding to the Empress Venus, and that you're more, maybe this feels more like being very, very practical as of late. And so your passions are, it's like, when do I get to tend to my passions? When do I get to honor that aspect of you. Well, right now you're determining how much attention you want to give to passions and where your attention should go as far as what passions will be providing you with, or, you know, earning and effecting kind of change while also making money, having something to do to earn. And yes, a lot of Saturn, a lot of kind of having to really put your foot down and not let your mind run with too many excitable ideas. Yeah, blank slate. It's sort of the regenerative moment is alluding to a creative timing for you. So yeah, like that, it may feel like you're nervous. You might feel very like nonconformity at the bottom of the deck, which is a very Aquarian card here. Very cool to see in your spread there, or at the bottom of the deck at least. And we have moderation and humility. Yeah, perhaps you're honoring this moment of being in this sitting back. Maybe you're not used to it. Maybe you were on the go, or maybe because of the feeling of having a lot of excitable energy, like you're feeling very like you want to jump to it, you want to get to it, but you're having to really really process through a lot of that fire, like really there's something about like centering, very centered and not necessarily taking action. It's more coming up with something new, like not really generating, but regenerating from what you see is actually working for you. So it's like actually, yes, honing in. Again, the moth card came up in the collective reading. Okay, so I strongly suggest checking that out if it calls to you. It is making sure that you're not just tending to the shiny objects, right? Like your energy flow. What is that saying? Energy flows where your attention goes. So it's like I think you're determining that you're looking at how to actually focus, what takes your focus away from your work, and what work is more meaningful, what work can provide those results for you that you want. How can you moderate how much you give and how much thought you put into your work, taking time out to break. Yes. Thank you so much, Goddess Isis. Wow, it's a very like spiritual moment, a very enlightenment moment for you, Sagittarius. Growing up, growing into something new. Like seeing the light, going towards the light, realizing that you've come out of like a shadow work, realizing that things are actually working out for you. Thank you so much, Goddess Isis. Even though it may seem like a lonesome, or like the humility card being here, like honoring your humanness, the process, the cycles, right? Wow, 4 cards came out. Okay. Yeah, Ace of Wands in reverse. Okay, calling the fire. Let's bring a little bit of order here. It's a Sagittarian court. Let's see. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. And the Ace of Wands in reverse. Here's your mini cross, right? Yeah, so not necessarily working towards anything right now. Figuring out what's going to work for you so that you can work towards it, right? Maybe there was a lot of work that you were involved in. You had a lot of work to do. Yes, I mean, coming from that, right? Like you're figuring out where to actually put your mind to work. A lot going on, a lot to handle. And then finally, like this moment of, I gotta take a step back because I have the Four of Cups. But this may have been something that you did not necessarily have in mind. You didn't really plan for. Very recently, you had to take a step back and just honor that. There is sort of like this like pause, this end to this bigger 3-year cycle. And then now you're spiritually, your spirit guides are beckoning you to honor that there's this new cycle beginning. And it really is about you emotionally grounding. And this could have, again, come to light in the last like month. Wow, like something could have happened in the last month with surrounding family, or I don't know, it's like your ancestors or the wise ancestors in your lineage, your spirit guides had to talk to you, and so they had to call you to it, like, hi, please pause for a moment. Wow, Sagittarius. Yeah, we keep getting this card, Ten of Swords, Sun and Gemini. Putting the fight down, just really seeing that humility aspect of it. And Six of Wands trying to come out. Six of Cups still at the bottom of the deck. So we have 10 of Cups, 7 of Cups, and then the Tower in reverse. Okay, so knowing that before you take action, who's going to be on your side, right? Who's going to be helpful, and more so in terms of like spiritual guidance, right? Like, who can you honor as far as like spiritual guidance? And this doesn't have to be an actual person, but also you yourself. Like, how do you honor your light, and do you honor and follow your intuition and your light? You're noticing that a lot of the options that not only come to you, but that you create through manifestation are maybe there's too many things, too many options, too many ideas that can flourish, seemingly flourish, but that don't actually amount to much. So now really determining where you can put a lot of this emotional kind of passionate, where it used to be an escape for you, it is now actual work. Like, you're actually working in a creative manner, in a creative process. Even if your line of work isn't the most creative, you're still a creator, a creatrix. You're tending to those processes more. You're aligning yourself more as a creative creator, creatrix. And so now it's sort of like what is just a fiery passion versus what is actually something that I have like this authority in. And I have to step away from a lot of folks telling me like, I'm good at this, I'm good at that, or you should do this, or you should do that. It's like kind of being taken by a lot of that kind of obsessing over certain ideas, but knowing that there's something there's like this bigger picture that draws you in. And now you're actually looking at the bigger picture, the drawing board. Okay, somehow in the last month, wherever has brought you to this solitude, to kind of feeling like you're doing things on your own, that has actually illuminated that you have to process through. You have to literally see the light, or actually see that you're, wow. With the Eight of Pentacles in reverse again in the Judgment, okay? Wow, look at you, okay? Talk about a spiritual moment. So cool. Here's the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Yeah, leaving some of the unsatisfying work behind. Okay. Something kind of took you away from work too. And it like brought you out of this. Here's your card, by the way, Temperance. Not all the major arcanas are coming out for you. It's so nice. Okay, others, yeah, allow others to help you. They're going to help you come to balance. Oh, I'm so sorry. The Ace of Pentacles flew out. And then I have the Ten of Swords again, but now upright, and the King of Pentacles. Okay, so not staying stuck in that. Yes. This just confirms the message earlier that you're not aligning to just anything anymore, because you're seeing that if you're going to listen to others, if you're going to take on others' projects for them, it's going to leave you in this like obsessive, fixated state, and you are meant to just kind of right now churn through all that, like really come to realize what's good for you and what's actually going to work for your best in terms of your work, in terms of like how you feel satisfied and how you feel spiritually aligned to work. A lot of the projects that you maybe were working on were not necessarily aligned with your highest kind of what you honor as valuable, and it wasn't, those tasks or those jobs or those projects were not honoring your highest, most spiritual self. And so now you've come to that realization. So it's like having to put things down and maybe not really realizing like that would be a little difficult for you because of how invested you are to really passion projects and like becoming a creative, right? Becoming that, owning it. Something was blocking you. It could have been like old mindsets, old emotional kind of codes that were blocking your road, like the road. Something was blocking the road. Yeah, it was blocking the road. Two of Swords. Wow. Okay. And then Seven of Wands, causing a little bit too much of that battle for something that you were not necessarily totally sold on. Well, now you become really enlightened to it, right? It's an internal enlightenment. And that realization that you want to come into balance, but maybe being afraid that this balance means cutting a lot of things out, right? Thank you so much, Goddess Isis, Sun God Ra. Can we get more clarification on the Seven of Cups, please? Yes, whatever was leaving you stagnant in work, again, going towards too many of the shiny objects or objects that were not for your highest good. Wow, as I just wrap that message up with the Seven of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, or Knight of Pentacles, okay? So Taurus, Virgo, shadow side of Leo. Then we have the Hermit and the Hierophant in reverse. Okay. So yeah, it wasn't simple as that, right? Like not honoring, looking at too many things, working on too many things, fixated on what you thought might work, and then not necessarily seeing that it was working for you. So then having to leave that behind, right? Having to have the courage to make the decision. Maybe you're just coming to that. Maybe there's a lot of noise around you all of a sudden. So there's that need for solitude, right? But it is coming out of that, like you have to regain you've come to that realization, like I must regain stability in myself, in my emotional and mental states. Okay, you have made the decision to leave, to walk away, but it has taken a lot of that. You've taken like a hit to that confidence, like the confidence kind of is waning a little bit, but I do see that you are coming just to that moment where you're like, I can see the light. If you haven't, you will, okay? You're fighting for it. You're fighting to see it. You're fighting to flip the ace back. Can we get more clarification on temperance, please? We have the Knight of Wands in reverse. So that's you, Sagittarius, feminine, or also not feeling yourself right. Like you had to take a lot of time out, time back, sit back. Shadow of Scorpio. So yeah, like running to too many shiny objects has caused you like this. It maybe wasn't like the direct cause, but a lot of this mental scatter, right? And as for the temperance, wow, like coming back to you. Okay, and then here we have death. We have death twice. Okay, so don't fear this change. It can happen fast. It can be brief. It can put you in a childlike, youthful state, coming back to honor you and coming back to friendships, more so the friendship with you, the friendship that you have with yourself, right? Wow. Cool. I like this combo though. Death, Two of Cups, Eight of Wands, right? Alrighty, Sagittarius. I hope that has kind of helped a little bit. There's a lot to say about honoring the cycles, right? Yeah, see, 9 of Wands and 4 of Cups. Take time in your resting period and your time out. Take a little bit of time to honor your spirit guides and your ancient wise ancestors. They do have messages for you as far as like how to alleviate yourself from this turmoil and how to bring yourself back into order, right? Not everything is at a loss. You do have the Emperor here, and it lands on the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. So you will come back to, it's just coming back to an orderly fashion. Passions in check, emotions in check, mentality in check, okay? Physically coming back to it. It's like all aspects of you, and then lock in with spirit, and then you can go from there, right? So it's a total rebirth for you, total regeneration, and then back to the 7 of Wands, back to like your fight. You're gonna get back to your fight. You're gonna get back to showing yourself as like a formidable opponent component. Okay, let's not forget to read the Moth. While you may choose to view this card as a representation of physical death, understand that it also signifies symbolic death. This card may mean the end of a journey, the end of a relationship, or the end of an attachment. It may also represent the end of one path and movement on to the next. While the Moth, well, yeah, you are poised very well between the Empress. I believe that the Empress sits between this. It's a beautiful state to be in, on your way to the star, right? To that kind of wish fulfillment, to your path alignment. So you are in a timely manner where you should be. It seems like spiritually, right? While the Moth is known as a creature of shadow and night, we must remember that it is always seeking out the light. Leaves may fall and rot into the earth, but their decay feeds new growth. This card may symbolize hope and happiness in the face of life-changing events, or endings, or a new beginning after a life-changing event. The Moth card may be urging you to let go of old thoughts, traumas, and anxieties that stagnate your mind, or to cut bad habits from your life that may be holding you back from real change. The shadow is perhaps we are not prepared for a change. Looking forward and toward the future can be scary and unnerving, especially when we are unsure of the route we must take. The Moth may fly too close to a flame and burn. A life-changing event may be on its way. Elements are air and spirit. Floras, alder, bluebell, cypress, elder, and willow. Stones are chiastolite, amethyst, and hyalite. Spell work is Samhain ritual, funeral blessings, ancestor work, speaking to those beyond the veil, blessing a new beginning after a big life change, dealing with grief. So maybe calling in your helpful, wise ancestors to bless this new path that you're trying to shine the light on, right? Trying to come to that moment where you're honoring this path alignment, right? You're poised very well. So don't be afraid, and really look at what is just very shiny and not actually bringing you any sort of happiness, right? Actual true contentment, or producing actual emotional contentment, right? Emotional and mental contentment. I honor you, Sagittarius. Happy Lunar New Year to you. May you have a blessed rest of your month, and I'll be back with more messages. All right.